Hi y'all, it's Diane or Lucky Gardenia Dashboard Confessional coming to you from Texas, and just wanted to say I survived the grocery shopping and I was able to get one thing of toilet paper and a big thing of Bounty paper towels. I love Vida and totally not a Viva inside, but nowadays you take what you can get, and that was the better choice of the two brands that were there. Anyway, just wanted to let you know that I survived. I am home. I did buy a little treat for tomorrow. It's strudel, and it's got strawberry down the middle, and if it's not enough strawberry, I have strawberry jam, and I have Cool Whip. Cool Whip makes everything better. I remember growing up, there was no Cool Whip, and all that there was, and this was revolutionary, right? Because my kids have no understanding of the limited groceries that we had. But there was Dream Whip, and it came in a powder in a box, and you would, put it with your mix master and dream it up. And that was pretty tasty, and I think it was even diet. You wonder where the diet issues come. My family was always emphasizing weight. My dad was trying to lose weight. My mom was pretty much thin. She wasn't a full vegetarian, but she loved vegetables. She was very slender growing up. And it's so funny when I look at a picture of, man, that is way too dark. Sorry, the makeup is crappy. Just throwing it together. And I did remember that, I was talking about how I had all this crazy hair, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, I look like Einstein. It was crazy. Talking about big hair, big Texas hair. I posted a picture of my sister Tracy and I we talked, and it was a picture for Easter, and we were all dressed up, and we're pretty sure that our granny, who lived in University Park in Dallas, must have kept us in our fancy clothes, because we always kind of matched, and Tracy and I, and we have our little Easter purses, and Tracy said, where are her white gloves? Mom usually had us in white gloves, and I said, they're probably in her purse, in our purses. And I talked about how I had her handy down little trainer shoes, the little white, well, some of you younger people maybe don't know, the leather kind of Doc Martin look, looking like a 8-hole, lace-up type of thing, but scuffed, I'm sure they were Tracy's hand-me-downs. Get that little white cover-up thing for shoes and do a little rubby-dubby, and, good to go. So I had the little yucky shoes, but with bobby socks, and then Tracy had the pretty Mary Janes, and we kind of figured, I was 2. I was born in April, Easter, I'm walking, so I think I'm about 2, so that would make Tracy she's a little bit over 2 years, so she would be 4.5 to 5, and anyway, we had our Easter bonnets on, we had our Easter dresses, usually with, a slip with some crinoline, I think it's crinoline, that made it kind of puffy, and yes, I loved all the frills. But when I was really looking closely at the picture, I had this really cute kind of hat the granny must have got me, and my hair looks really light brown in it, and But if you look in the back, it looks like this. Mom always had us in the pink curlers. And boy, you couldn't sleep in the pink curlers. You know, she'd, wet down our hair. She'd roll it up tight. And then, you'd be sleeping with all these pink rollers in your hair. But, because my hair is not naturally curly, obviously. I couldn't find my blow dryer, so this is just on a wing and a prayer. But anyway, I was looking, I'm like, man, it looks like Texas big hair. It is like huge. Bouffant. That's a word. It looks like a bouffant hairdo. Tracy's doesn't look like that. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, it's just really funny looking at pictures from when you were growing up and looking at your furniture, what wallpaper you had, what decorations you had up, and it really helps you visualize, the good memories, the house, that you actually developed and grew up in. And there's some pictures of me. I have them on my Facebook and probably on Instagram. And I'm at my granny's house in Highland Park, and I'm walking in my scuff shoes, and I've got a little midriff on. I have this, it must have been somebody's party, mom's, because it looked like Mom had gotten some gloves because the little brown, the cardboard thing came out, and I was carrying that. But I had the big present bow around my head. I'm like, oh, I've always been, gee, I came out of the womb like that. Just out there having a great time, and I'm always like smiling and laughing and just enjoying a joy. And it's as I grew up, I hate to say it, but my dad was verbally abusive to me, and he had a really demanding job, and he'd come home, we would do the beaver cleaver around the table, and I guess I was the target at the table. And I kind of blocked it out. And actually there's a lot of times when growing up that I just don't have the memories. And Tracy is the memory keeper. My mom used to be able to tell me verbatim what I was wearing, what happened, what my person I was with, what heinous thing they had done that caused our breakup, and why in the world would I consider going back to them. And then she would retell the incidents. And I think it's didactic, that's probably wrong, but a brain that can go back in a file and find out exactly what happened that day, that would be so freaking, can you imagine? Your mind must be, they must be firing on all cylinders. Anyway, Tracy was the keeper of a lot of our childhood memories, so I'll call her and say, do you remember this? And, she'll recall it. There was something the other day, we would go stay at my granny's house and loved staying there. We loved my grandma, my mom's mom was Vera. We loved Granny Vera's house. She always had great cereal. She had Fruit Loops and, something sugary, I'm sure. She was a Coca-Cola addict, and she was also chocolate. She loved chocolates, and during the war, she had a hookup for the Coca-Cola. She'd get it from the Highland Park pharmacist or something. Granny was a friend to everybody, and a delight that I recall. She died, way too young, and we knew we were loved. Anyway, I think I'm all over the place, but my point is, we look at our childhood pictures, and if you had a good childhood, and remember, that was a happy child. That, I was gleeful and happy and full of life and dreams and just enjoying everything. And I listened to a virtual friend, something had popped up in her memories, but it was about the inner child and how you have to nurture it. And everybody has stuff, everybody has a story to tell. Um, most people, if you sit down, they really could have interesting lives if you really have a acquisitive mind, and if they're willing to share. I know people that wouldn't even share what color um, they what their favorite color was, and I can put a point on it. But when I was working in the corporate world, we'd have a meeting, a big conference call, or conference meeting, full of people. Or even when I manage, people, we would be in there. And normally this was back in problem solving, Kaizen, but there was a lot of things to get to know each other, to know each other better. So ultimately you would work better, and it would be like something personal in your life. And there was a woman that wouldn't say a word. She would not share anything. And it's like, really? I don't know. It was just so funny, but I could see when she really let the person in, she was quite funny, but she was very, tight-fisted, or held all that personal life in. And, as you can tell, I'm just kind of I just roll with it. Roughly right is okay in most cases with me, unless you're doing heart surgery. And, perfection's overrated. Anyway, got to run. I've got things that are probably melting that need to be either in the freezer or the refrigerator. So happy Easter, everybody. I'm sending love and hugs. Like and subscribe, please. A lot of times, even when I'm looking at other people's videos, I'll be subscribed, and then all of a sudden I'm unsubscribed. And then if you hit the bell, if you go back and hit it, and with the little parentheses, it would just notify you when I put up a new video. Anyway, I hope you like these my crazy live videos, and let me know if you do or don't. And anyway, see you later.